The following program was paid for by Southern American Media. Fox 30 WGBC invites you to the talk of all the towns in East Mississippi and West Alabama. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty, Ray, and Candace.
And a good morning. The West Lauderdale area recovering without power this morning for 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
People get kind of cranky over that. You can't have your coffee. It just disrupts your life. And as we go back to the map, we still have 11 folks that's sitting in the dark. Okay, maybe it's not dark, but so to speak.
Yeah, right. Trying to get everybody ready for work and stuff in the mornings.
Let's pull this up where y'all can see this as well. Don't you love it the way I use y'all?
Yeah.
Here we go. This is going out to Collinsville as we zoom into this. It's still the Bailey area. Just north of Windsor Road is where we'll find this on King Road. There's about 11 folks without power here. So, getting a little dark. It was all the way out to near West Lauderdale High School earlier. EMEPA got on it. It was there on King Road where the major outage was. I think it was 740, 750 people at one point.
Goodness.
And then power boys go to jumping and a fetching quickly as they got power back on for us as quick as they could.
Yeah.
So what'd you do overnight?
Clothes, folded clothes. That's all I did. I slept last night, of course.
I'm going to enter you in one of them contests of clothes folding.
I've never in my life. Look, we went camping this past week. We were there from Friday to Sunday of the next week. And, ants got into our camper, which was I hate bugs, but anyway, everybody out there was having issues with them. And I said, if there was not one little nook and cranny that we sprayed with some kind of stuff to kill them, it wasn't a ton of them, but still, I just rewashed all my clothes and everything just to make sure. I just didn't want to bring anything home.
I've seen those things I can't fold anything. I'll just be honest with you. It kind of ends up in a wad.
Yeah.
But I've seen those things to where they have those patterns where you put the shirt down and you do this, the T-shirt. I can't do that.
Yeah, I don't do all that.
Put it on a hanger is the only way I can make anything from getting wrinkled.
Yeah. But anyway, that's all.
Do they have like ironing Olympics? Did they ever have that in Atlanta when we had that over there?
Do you know how to iron?
No, absolutely. I remember asking. I was in Texas somewhere and needed to have a shirt that was. I gave up and went to a dry cleaner because I couldn't get it.
Oh, really?
I even bought an iron. It was awful. Some things a man's got to know his limitations as to what he's good at, and well, I'm not good at that.
Well, you can take them to the cleaners.
As a lady, I watched.
Does Angie iron your stuff?
No, she quit that years ago. Bless her heart.
If you take it right out of the dryer, maybe you don't need to iron it.
Oh, I've tried that too. I have to rely on them dry cleaner boys to make it when it's got to be crisp.
I iron every morning. Like, I just iron what I wear every morning. But some people will make it a day-long thing. It's ironing day.
Well, if you got a bunch and you're in a hurry, it depends.
Yeah.
This may be part of the reason you're late every day.
It might be. No.
If you were to do it the night before, you ever thought about that?
Yeah, but
like hang it?
Look, I'm just ready to get my shower and stuff and get in the bed the night before. I'm tired.
Oh, have mercy. All right, let's talk about a few things that went on yesterday. We would learn that gunshots would ring out in Meridian. What was going on? Well, let's go to the map and show you where all this went down yesterday. As we go, here's the new Walmart, the neighborhood Walmart store, just down 33rd, about right here before you get to 10th Avenue. A gentleman, we don't know all that led up to this, but shots would be fired and a car would be hit. He would take off on foot and the area would be covered in officers. And he was very good. He eluded police 30, 40 minutes, and he didn't factor on this. That's that old fella that comes in that's got this nose that you just can't beat. There he is.
Yeah.
Boogie there, boogie there. Led police right to where he was. He was taken down. He was arrested and taken downtown for a free meal. Compliments of y'all.
A free stay, maybe.
So we'll learn more about this today from police as to what the behind scenes went on all of this. But thankfully, no officers were hurt. No one was injured in this. But somebody went downtown for something that they shouldn't have. We'll find out more about that. Now, I urge you to check your cars. We see this almost on a daily basis. It doesn't matter whether you live in the county, if you live in the city, or what neighborhood it is. People love to come open up your car doors and take what's yours in the middle of the night. And they were busy last night. Security got after them, got all amongst them as we pull this up near the Hilton Garden Inn. This area right in here, if you live over this area of, you've got Buffalo Wild Wings and all this area here, they were going through cars. Now, we've seen them hit this area a lot, but they've moved across the interstate last night. Maybe you're watching from a hotel and you're going, well, now, go check your car.
Right.
Call the popo, as they call it, and let them know. Where'd that term even come from?
I don't know.
But I've heard it all my life.
But my son has heard it enough that that's what he says.
The popo.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the day that I was getting ready to do a severe thunderstorm warning. I was on radio, and somebody was in the studio with me, and right before they went on, they used that slang term crib. And I'm describing where a road was and where a house was fisting to get hit, and I said crib.
Yeah.
And I just had to stop and go, y'all, I apologize for that. Come out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, my little one, he's heard it on like shows or whatever. So he'll go, "Ma, that's bad." I'm like, don't call him that. Don't call him that.
We did have gunshots reported last night, and I have no mention of anybody being hurt or anything damaged last night. But as we go to the map, we go over here. Here's Highland Avenue. Right up in here, the 2500 block of 45th Avenue is where shots would be heard last night. Again, as you come down, this is State Boulevard. We've seen a lot of activity happen on Royal Road. It would be just north of there, the gunshots would ring out in this area. Again, as I tell you, I have no one that was hurt or damaged, but it doesn't change the fact that this did happen in our community last night.
That's right.
So we want you to be aware of all that as well. For our friends out in Lake Ross Collins, as you're getting ready to take off and head somewhere today, you might better rethink this. They've put a little slow into your roll. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. As we pull this up, they're doing work right here in Collinsville Circle. I can't say it, can I? It's a culvert, more or less, is what it looks like a bridge from here, but it's actually a culvert that they're replacing. I'm not sure how long it'll take to do that, but you'll have to go around the lake to get out.
Yeah. Maybe that won't be too bad, though.
Boy, imagine that at Halloween.
Yeah, I hope it's not like that at Halloween, for sure.
So is Lake Ross Collins still the #1 hit place for Halloween?
I think, there's a lot of we went last year. There's a lot of trick-or-treaters that go through there. And some people still decorate their houses. At one time, I think Eagle Point and Lake Ross Collins was the two big places. And people would decorate all their homes and sit out. And I guess they still do that. They sit out there and hand out candy.
Candace is still waiting on that one kid to come to her house.
We don't get... Because we're so far off the road, we don't, and usually we're gone trick or treating.
Pack a lunch to go to her house. Get extra gas cans on the back. I'm telling you, it took me like 45 minutes to get there.
Somebody, the movie Deliverance.
Yeah.
Somebody said, it's like I hear banjos when I come all the way out here.
Y'all need to install that there. We had good news, and this is scary all in the same thought. I brought this up earlier. Alabama, over near Auburn, we had a 12-year-old girl that was kidnapped. She was bound, and somehow or another, she was drugged on top of this. And this is what kidnappers do. Who knows what they were going to do to her, whether she would have lost her life or they would have put her into a sex trafficking thing. But she managed to chew her way out of her restraints on her hand. She ran down a road, and a nice lady just happened to come along, found her, called police, and they moved in. They've made one arrest. They think there's more going to be connected with this, and they did find some bodies in the home as well. So, like I said, there's no telling what was going to happen to that little girl. And you have to think that this leaves a scar on somebody for the rest of their life.
Well, yeah, there's no telling what she saw in there, or who knows what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just awful. Thank goodness she got away there. But, I mean, this just right here sees how, you can see how it hits so close to home. I mean, that's Alabama.
Yeah, not far from us at all. So watch your babies. Make sure that they know surroundings, and you teach them things that that are going on. So they're just because bad people are usually really nice. Is what I mean by that.
Oh yeah. Well, that's yesterday. I was doing a teenage girl's hair, and me and her grandmother we were talking about it and saying these exact same things. So many times you see. Them come out of the store with just looking at their cell phone. They're not even looking at their surroundings. And so it's so important because that's like I said, it's the nicer people sometimes that you have to worry about.
And this even happens as you get to be an adult, and people that are nice, I'm not saying nice, but there are people that are just really good at being fake, criminals, so to speak, con artists. That's the word I'm looking for. And if you have a red flag and you hear that little voice, pay attention to it.
Yeah.
It's that little guy sitting on your shoulder there talking to you.
Yeah.
Going, she's just after your money. Leave. Go home. Dates gone bad. That happens also. Yeah. What was it Jerry Reed said? If I just learned how to cook, it'd all been good. She got the gold mine, I got the shaft.
I love
that
that.
song.
I do too. I love that song. It's so funny.
Oh, have mercy.
I love him though. He's just a funny.
Jerry Reed was just a talent of being an actor from WW and the Dance Hall Kings. Was that the name of that? Where he's with Burt Reynolds on that first show? WW and the Dance something. I can't remember that. And then on into, he was in Gator, and then he made his way up to Smokey and the Bandit with Burt. They were a great pair, duo.
Oh, they were. Yeah.
And quite the guitar player. He was good, there's no doubt.
He was.
Good morning, J.T. Rigdon. We're glad to see you there. Bill Reinhardt is up making coffee for everybody in the cab this morning.
Sandra Carrizales, good morning to you.
Boy, I sure am glad you said that.
Barbara and Glenn Smith, good morning. Jeannie McKay, good morning from Philadelphia.
I have been known to rename folks. And they get all confused about what they're called after that. But our guest is coming up this morning. I can pronounce her name so good. In just a moment, Sara Smith is going to be joining us. Don't get any better than that for me.
Yeah.
Sara's going to be here to talk to us in a moment. The CPC of Meridian. We'll learn more about that. What that is, I saw her speak at church once. And I said, whoa, look at that woman down there. She does an excellent job. She's going to talk to us about a few things going on right here in our own community. Y'all stay close. Don't rush off. We're going to have a lot of fun this morning, different subject, and all that's going on.
The Square Peg Mini Mall, located across from the Neshoba County Co-op in Philadelphia, Mississippi, is a family-owned business that promises to treat you like family. The Square Peg Mini Mall has been operating for over 10 years and boasts over 30 vendors with a rotating inventory to fit that something you're looking for. Inventory is constantly updating, so there's always a chance for a surprise when you step inside. Come visit the Square Peg Mini Mall, located on 335 West Main Street in Philadelphia, Mississippi.
The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville has these great savings this week. Fresh peaches, $1.99 a pound. Large tomatoes, $1.79 a pound. Red, yellow, or orange bell peppers, 2 for $3. Fresh plums, $2.99 each. Vidalia onions, a 3-pound bag, $3.99. Coca-Cola 12-pack, 12-ounce cans, 2 for $11. And certified Angus beef top sirloin, $5.99 a pound.
And we're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
And welcome back with Scotty, Ray, and Candace. And what did JT say the name of the show was?
The WW and the Dixie Dance Kings.
That was a great show. And y'all, I'm going to tell y'all a sad ending. That they burned a 55 Chevrolet in that car, in that movie. It hurts. Think about it. But it was a great movie. If you ever get a chance, go back and watch that. Jerry Reed when he was a young man. As we promised, we have a special guest. Miss Sara joins us. And let's get a close-up to her, see how her makeup's doing this morning. Here she is.
Oh my gosh.
How are you?
Good morning.
We were just discussing, how, as you made your debut at Northcrest Baptist Church, I got to see you there at the first church service. And you've done such a wonderful job.
Thank you so much.
Now, when we say Sara Smith and we say CPC, there's a lot of folks going, okay, I don't know initials. What does that mean? Tell us what that is and how long you've been associated with it.
So the CPC of Meridian is just short for the Center for Pregnancy Choices of Meridian, and we are our East Central Mississippi's local pregnancy help organization. So the only two qualifications for receiving help from us are you pregnant or are you parenting?
Now, define choices. I'm not sure that everybody quite understands what y'all really do there.
Sure. So we are a pro-life organization, and the people that come to us, a lot of times they could be teenagers, but they could be college students or older women too, facing an unplanned pregnancy, and they're not really sure what they're going to do next. So we come alongside them and let them know that God has designed them for such this time to be a mother. And if they lean into his support and his guidance and the support of the community who's just waiting and willing to help them along the way, that he will show up in amazing ways and bless their life as a parent and help them achieve their dreams too.
What I don't know, how do y'all get funding? How do y'all operate? What pays the bills for y'all? How do you do it?
Local churches, individual donors, especially monthly givers. We don't receive any federal or state grants because we are a religious organization. We want to operate freely, and we are governed by a board of directors, and they, make sure that we are financially sound, that we are making good decisions. But we want to make sure that we use our funds in such a way that it blesses people from a spiritual component. So not having any side agendas or anything. It's just simply blessing people, meeting them where they're at, and helping them get from A to B in as smooth process as possible.
All right, now, Sarah, I got to get nosy.
Get nosy.
How did you end up in this? Is there a reason that you're there? Is it a personal reason, or did you just take a job out of the blue?
So the second part is definitely not true. God has a funny way of rerouting our steps and giving us these beautiful pivots in life to get us to where he wants us to be. And I firmly believe that. But 19 years ago, I was a client at the Center for Pregnancy Choices. And I was a junior in high school, 17. My boyfriend and I went together as an appointment. Had no idea what this place was. But because my future mother-in-law heard in church service, this director from the CPC came and said what they did, free services, what a blessing they are to the community. And she said, Chad, you need to go and take Sara to the CPC. And we were like, what is that? We don't want an abortion. She said, no, it's not like that. It's a Christian place, and they'll help you with your goal planning, help you stay in school, encourage you along the way. It's the Christian lady that works there. And we were like, okay, maybe this is all right. So 19 years later, here I am as a director at the same place that served me.
Where you started and where you are now. And hopefully you can pass along some knowledge to somebody else that stumbles in that doesn't really know what to think or do. Is it a confusing time? I'm not a lady. I don't know these things.
It is. It is a confusing time. And like I was discussing before we went on the air, and some people might not know my story, but I was 40 years old, and I was divorced at the time. I was 40 years old, and I became pregnant with my child, who is now fixing to be 8 years old. I have always been against abortion, always. And I went as far, because I just did, it was a confusing time for me. I really did not know what I was going to do. I had teenage daughters at the time, and I was like, what have I gotten myself into? Why did I just fell to my knees. I just really didn't know what to do. I went as far as calling the place, the abortion clinic, and speaking to the lady. And then I just hung the phone up, and I just sobbed. And I couldn't even imagine what a teenage girl would go through in a time like that. And so I, just fell to my knees again, and I just prayed to God to lead me which way I needed to go. And he has been nothing but a blessing to me. And I just felt like if people had more people to talk to, if girls had more people to talk to, even older women, anybody who's going through that, because every child is a blessing. Every child is a miracle.
They are.
It's planned by God.
And I'm sure you hear cases like this all the time of, what do I do? My world is over. I'm sure people had that thought of, it ends right now. My life is ruined. Yeah,
you just feel like that. I mean, you feel like that at the time, but thank God for people like y'all, and this, it's just a blessing.
Thank you.
So if somebody walks in, what's the first thing you do? Kind of walk me through this, because I'm a guy, I don't understand it, and I'm sure that there's some girls that are watching too that don't, and maybe, as you said, a parent pointed you there. Give us some direction of what happens when they walk in the door there.
So the first thing we ask people is, would you like something to drink, or would you like a snack? Because hospitality, when you lead with that, it helps somebody calm down and start to think rationally and not think from a panicked perspective. So if you can get somebody to sit down on a couch, to relax a little bit, to have a private space where they can feel free to be themselves, free to share. And like I mentioned earlier, there's an odd thing about sharing your business with a stranger that seems safe sometimes, because they don't know all of your details. And having somebody like at the CPC, having a care coordinator to listen to what's going on and not just address the pregnancy situation, because it may not be the first time they're pregnant. It could be, a third or fourth child, or a child right behind having a baby, and they're very overwhelmed. I just had a baby. I can't do this again. I just can't. And so we help them explore the possibilities of how, what would it look like if you could? What would it take for you to be able to do this successfully? Who do you have in your corner to support you? What do you need in order to be a rock star parent, or feel good about being a parent all over again? And so we explore their life and what's going on, and who's supportive to them, and where are they going, and how can we help them get there?
Now, I'm not sure you've ever been asked this. As you were sitting there talking, it ran through my mind, so I'm just sporadically what hits my head. How many times do you think, on a case-by-case overall, of people that came in that might have been thinking about doing an abortion, that after meeting with y'all, they've changed their mind and let a child live? How would you rate that? What would you say the score is on that?
Well, I have only been there as a director for a little over a year, so I'm still building my statistics up. But I would say even the people who if we call it abortion determined, if somebody is just wanting to know if we provide abortion or not, chances are they are going to have an abortion because they are just shopping for a place that will do that procedure for them. And so that's a whole nother story. But somebody who's torn on the inside, who, when they have a discussion with us and they say, I really don't believe in abortion, but I just don't know if I have any other choice. And we get to sit down with them and explore those options of choosing life, whether it's adoption or parenting. They oftentimes do end up having their baby, especially if they can have an ultrasound. So, and that's something that we're working toward right now. So if you're listening and you're like, well, how can I get involved? Please consider being a monthly supporter, because we are trying to become a medical facility, which means we can offer free ultrasounds to those moms.
To where you could actually hear the heartbeat.
See the baby, see the heartbeat, hear it, and just know that there's life inside of you.
You touched on something there, right there, that of people that come in that go, there is absolutely no way that I could raise a child. There's nothing that I could do. There's a better world. And you brought up adoption.
Yes.
Is that done a lot? Is that a common thing that because I'm sure that there's tons of people who can't have children would love to have one.
You're very right about that. There's people lined up and waiting for a baby to be born and provided to their household because they can't have a child themselves for whatever reason. And the sad part about it is our society has joked around about babies out of wedlock or putting a baby up or giving a baby up so much to the point where we believe women, I'll say in general, think about it in a shameful way. Like if they're going to have a baby, if they're pregnant, this is what I hear, I'm either going to have my baby and keep it, or I'm going to have an abortion. And so, there's a really strange paradigm there where, okay, well, what about adoption? Well, I could never do that to my baby. And so I know some of you right now are thinking, well, but you could have an abortion, but you can't choose adoption. Like, I don't understand that. It's really hard to explain that when it's not you going through the situation.
Right.
So we have to approach each of these cases with so much grace and compassion, because we don't know what we would do. Just like when I was 17, we don't know what we would do until we're in that situation.
That's
so
exactly right.
if the world is making it so much easier to have an abortion with pills or procedures, even after Roe versus Wade being overturned, we need to make it easier as God's people, as caring folks, to make it easier for people to choose life. If it's daycare that's an issue, if it's food, if it's healthcare, how can we as people make it easier? And we can't change policies and politics overnight, but we could come alongside somebody, some of us who are a little bit more blessed financially, or maybe we own a daycare and we can open up a space for somebody to, that has a real need. We can offer gift cards to the CPC so the CPC can give money or gift cards to moms who are trying to get their GED. They can't get their GED if they don't have gas money, and they don't have gas money because they don't have a job because they don't have their GED. So see what's going on here.
Let's touch on that too. A lot of people won't hire you if you're pregnant. I mean, that's just a fact. Some people will not do that, which I think is totally wrong.
I think that's illegal.
Yeah, it is. But some people they don't.
You're saying what goes on behind the scenes and not what's written on paper.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and it is sometimes hard to get a job if you're pregnant. It's just, that's a fact.
Yes, it's a reality. And when those women come to the center and they're like, I cannot have this baby because I'm in the middle of my training as a nurse at Meridian Community College, that's a perfect opportunity for me to say, have you spoken with this person or that person at the college? Because they can help you with daycare. They can help you with certain grants available for single moms or hardships. Mm-hmm. And they're like, no, I don't even know who you're talking about. And it's like, wow, you don't know until you know. So instead of holding all of our good golden nuggets of wisdom to ourselves, we share that with as many people as we can. So, coming on today's show is a perfect opportunity. There's 130 people on right now chiming in, listening from all over the place. And the people who are watching, please, or listening to the playback, please talk about pregnancy help and how much this makes a difference in the life of somebody who's battling with that war inside of them to choose life or not because of the support they do or do not have.
Tell me this. Why should I know the name Amy Ford? What is the holes with this?
I'm glad you asked. So next Wednesday, we want every church possible to join us for a regional praise and worship night. It's a conference. It's free. It will be held at Evangel Temple. Doors open at 5:30, and it will be from 6 to 7:30. And special guest Amy Ford, who is the co-founder of Embrace Grace, will be our special guest speaker. And for those of you who are like, well, I remember when you all did Tony Evans a couple years ago, but who is Amy Ford? Glad you asked. Amy Ford is a phenomenal person in the pregnancy help movement. She has her own story of going to an abortion clinic, and basically, I don't want to put any spoilers out there,
right.
But her story of how she ended up not having an abortion because how God intervened in her life. And now she works tirelessly across the globe, helping churches to start up Embrace Grace groups. And these are specific groups for single pregnant women who may not feel like they have a place in the church because of bias, because of the gravity of their situation weighing on their heart so heavy. But Embrace Grace creates a safe and soft place within the church for single pregnant women to belong and to be with other women who are single and pregnant just like they are. So she's not going to just talk about Embrace Grace groups, but she's going to talk about how the church can come alongside women in the pregnancy help movement and help people to choose life and have their dreams come true as well.
No, that's a lot going on. What time does it start? Let me ask that.
It starts at 6, but doors open around 5:30, and you really will not want to miss this. A lot of us in church are saying, yay, Roe versus Wade's been overturned, no more abortion. But I'm telling you all, the heat has been turned up. The abortion industry has become more insidious than ever with the ways that they're teaching people to go around the system set in place, especially in states that have banned abortion, and create fake email addresses and forwarding addresses to get things shipped to them. And it's really a tragedy because these people are taking abortion pills at home without medical staff, and they're having abortions in their bathroom. Oof. And a lot of them, I've heard statistics from Guttmacher, which is a research organization for Planned Parenthood, say that 500% ER visits have gone up 500% because of at-home abortions. This is not a safe procedure. This is not something for women's health care. It's creating problems for women in health care.
Now, this event that's going to be held at the Evangel Temple, how are y'all raising money? Does it cost to get in? Is it by donation? What are y'all doing?
We will take a special love offering up at the end for the center because we are trying to become a clinic, but it does not cost anything to come in, and we're not going to shame you if you don't give. We just want you to be there and learn from Amy Ford and come together as a united front as the church. And it's not one denomination or another. If you're Catholic, if you're Baptist, if you're Episcopal, or you're Jewish, everybody, we want everyone to come to this event because it's important for all us to lean in together and support the women that we serve.
I have to say a big thank you to the Evangel Temple. They do so much for the community, letting groups like you come in and speak. We don't have any other facility like this in town. I mean, it's just, if you've never been in their church or watching, it's a humongous place, and they're so kind to let people like you come.
Yes, and we
Listen to me
appreciate
calling you
that.
like you.
Like me, yes. Us nonprofit folks.
Yes. But again, what time do doors open?
6 o'clock next Wednesday, so a week from today at Evangel Temple. So please put it on your calendars. I know a lot of our churches, even mine, are doing the kickoffs and back to school events. But send a Sunday school group or a core group of your leadership, and just listen and come see how you can get involved with the pregnancy help movement and be God's hands and feet right here in East Central Mississippi.
All right, if you're watching, you're going, okay, I like what you're talking about. I'd like to help. Where are y'all located? How do they send or get in touch with you to make a donation?
Sure. They can go to cpclegacy.com if they want to know more about our vision and mission and how to become a supporter, cpclegacy.com. Or you can give us a call on our phone, 601-527-8829. You can also visit our client website, which is cpcofmeridian.com. I'd really, though, love you to stop by and see our center and catch the vibe of what it feels like to walk into our space. And we'll offer you a drink and a snack, too.
Now, what's it close to your center? Give me a, because I'm addresses. Tell me what you're really close to.
You know where the Temple Theater is?
Yes.
You know where the ballroom is?
Yes.
If you're looking at the ballroom entrance and you do a 180, you'll be looking at our building.
Over there by the Boy Scouts?
That's the old Boy Scout building, because they just moved again.
Okay.
Wow. But yeah, that was Boy Scouts of America. In my head, that was Boy Scouts of America for years. So that's where y'all are located.
Yes.
Okay, now I know.
Really easy, right downtown.
I know that I've been getting notes here. I know that you've got to go take John de Culpepper a biscuit from over at.
She's so sweet.
She is. She's wanting a Chick-fil-A. She keeps saying, "Get me a Chick-fil-A." Have you seen all those notes? But we want to thank you so much for coming in this morning and sharing your story. Very touching, very heartfelt, and it does a lot of people good in their time of need.
Yes. And with the right support, if you're listening to this or you know someone who's pregnant right now facing some hardships, you can do it. Our community wants to support you. We want to support you. We want to walk right beside you on your journey if you'll let us. Mm-hmm. And it's just a text or a phone call away to that 601-527-8829 number. And you'll talk to somebody like me or Miss April or Miss Lisa, and we'll see how we can help you.
Well, Sarah, thank you for dropping in this morning and visiting with us.
Yes,
thank you so much, guys.
We'll be in touch. On the way, I've got several requests about what's the weather going to do. We'll talk about that in a moment, fill you in on that, talk about a few other things going on in the community. Thank you so much for dropping by and visiting with us this morning.
Thank you.
The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or consultation. H&H can install or you can do it yourself. H&H has all of your design needs from color, style, and texture. If you can dream it, H&H can make it a reality. Come see the large selection of hardwood flooring, laminate, vinyl, and even carpet. H&H Residential of Meridian, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, 321 Hawkins Crossing Road. Call Rosemary anytime, 601-462-9541.
Welcome back with Scotty, Ray, and Candace as we start your Wednesday. Can you believe it's already here?
I know it. Middle of the week. Halfway through the week. Yeah.
I know it. Let's look at weather. I had a question about that. Somebody was heading to North Mississippi. The threat is more southern Mississippi, south of us as we look at this. Let's show live radar now where you'll be able to tell what's going on. Down this area, if you'll see here, out in the Gulf, we got showers moving in. This area right along in here where we've got this fog developing is going to be south of I-20. Down through here is going to be the worst of the weather today. Chance of flash flooding, could have 3 to 4 inches of this within an hour. And let me pull this up what the National Weather Service put out early this morning about the flash flood area of where it's possible. Now again, this is going to be south of the Meridian area as we look at this. Right along in here, Laurel, Hattiesburg area back to Jackson. Now we're going to get rain in this area, but not as heavy as south of here. So traveling north, not near as bad. So that's hopefully a little helpful hint there as you move along. How's everybody feeling today? Oh, good there. We had a birthday a minute ago.
I did see the birthday. It's Marie Roberts' birthday today. Happy birthday, Marie. Hope you have a wonderful day.
Yeah. How long is it to your birthday again where I won't forget it?
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, it's almost a year.
Yeah. Whoops. It happened. I didn't even know it.
I don't announce that. You know what? Tomorrow's my birthday. I'm just not one of those people.
But now, there's others that start a month out. Don't forget, it's my birthday month.
I know, yeah.
I have a lot of friends that do that.
Didn't you say you were going to give me something for my birthday? Well, it's tomorrow.
It's just funny how some people want to keep it really, really quiet about the birthdays and others want everybody. It doesn't even matter the age. I'm just happy to be here, y'all, as Minnie Pearl would say.
That's kind of like those people that do their Christmas list. That always drives me insane.
Really?
Like, yes, I can't stand if you're a child, okay. But like grown people,
poor Kurt,
writing a list of what
Christmas
they want
is
for
what
Christmas.
I'm hearing here.
I try to listen throughout the year of
honestly,
things, but he has everything. I can't even imagine.
That was my comment. If you were to put me on the spot and go, "What do you want?" I could name. Yeah. I really have. I'm sure there's something that I really want, but need. I don't have that. God's blessed me, and if I don't care to get anything at Christmas. It's all about others having a good time.
I love to see other people, get things. I love to get things for other people is what I'm saying. But I like to do like surprise type stuff. I don't like people telling me what they want and then you go get it. I don't know. Even though I have asked before,
Such
you got some things in mind.
Really taking the fun out of getting what you want. That's what I hear. Let's take a moment and step back in time. And no matter how hard they try in America to change history, and folks, I'm telling you, history has been rewritten as we sit here today. We go to this event, and it happened on this date back in 1492. Although it's misspelled, he actually was named Columbus instead of Columbus. He set sail on today. Yeah, I was in a hurry when I put that up there. I didn't notice it. But that old boy fired off with 3 ships and headed off towards America on this date back in 1492. And they'd get hungry along the way and have some fighting amongst each other, but they made it.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember a guy named Tony Bennett?
I do.
He was like it on a stick at one time. He was born on this date back in 1926. A huge star. Forever there. People liked Tony. Well-dressed man, too.
Is he still with us?
I was scared to go there. I would be lying if I...
It seems like I did hear that he is, but he's
like
still here.
Passed away?
No, I think he's still alive, but I might be wrong. I might be wrong.
An old boy, I got it out kind of order here. An old boy that was really close to our area made it big. He's known worldwide. He was so big. I don't know that I've ever met anybody else in the world that has a USS aircraft carrier named after him. This guy did, and I got to meet him as a kid. Anybody remember John C. Stennis?
Yeah.
DeKalb, Mississippi, the little house that's white on the left-hand side of the road when you come into town, was his meager little home that he had there. He would go off to represent us. He would bring this naval base that you hear right here in Meridian. He's responsible for that. If it wasn't for John C. Stennis, we wouldn't have had that ever. He done a lot for Mississippi. Don't y'all forget that.
Yes, he did.
He may be gone. Boy, I'm really out of order on all my years here. It was 1927, Bristol, Tennessee. Why is Bristol, Tennessee important? Well, they had this warehouse rented for the day. And this old boy that got him a job with RCA, he was brand new to the world, shows up and he sets up a recorder there, and they do this test. And they let people come in by the droves and see if they can sing. Well, an old boy from Mississippi, matter of fact, some will argue that it was from Geiger, Alabama, or from Meridian, Mississippi. We're not sure which one. He was kind of half in, half out there.
Yeah.
Makes his way to Bristol and sits down and records 3 songs. They'd give him $100 because he'd done such a good thing. He would later become a legend and be known as the father of country music. Made his first recordings on this date. Pretty big deal.
Yeah, it is. I was watching something the other night. They were talking about the history of country music and stuff.
Yeah.
And they were mentioning him a lot in there.
He's done a lot. Now, a lot of folks don't care for his style of music these days. You fist to sneeze, you got that
No, my
look.
nose is itching, y'all. What does
Somebody's-
that mean? What does that
somebody-
mean?
Somebody's coming with a hole in the britches.
Oh, okay. Because
If
I
you
always
didn't
heard
know
it was
that.
money coming your way.
Nope. Somebody with a hole in the britches.
If
So
you got
be
a hole in your
prepared.
britches, who's that?
I'm checking because I have had them before. Got my
I
blue
hate
jeans.
that when you get a little tickle. Woo.
Sometimes these bright lights, if I look at them,
Yeah.
you'll see that star and it'll make you sneeze.
Live TV, nothing like it, y'all.
Bless your heart. 1940, this guy's got several kids. One of them's Charlie Sheen, and I ain't figured out how Emilio Estevez is tied into all this. Maybe it's a stepkid.
Well, I want
did
to
he
say
change his name?
Estevez was their name, right?
I don't know.
I think it was.
It could be. But
Yeah.
Martin Sheen, that may be his stage name. There he is. He has a birthday today, born in 1940. And if you ask me if he's alive, I'd have to tell you again, I'm not real sure.
Yeah.
What do you think? Yay or nay?
I think he is still alive. I think he is. Charlie Sheen, I know, was an Estevez also, but he changed his name. I think his is the same.
We got another birthday there. Happy birthday goes out to Lane Ledlow. Hope you have a big one.
Happy birthday, Lane. Went to
Now-
school with Lane.
Did you?
I did.
He's a youngin' then, huh?
Yeah. He needs to come to our reunion on August the 20th.
Oh, y'all got one?
Yeah, we've got a 30-year reunion, West Lauderdale High School, 1992 graduates on August the 20th.
Me and my wife went to one West Lauderdale, had hers, and there was 3 divorces after that. So y'all be careful what y'all do at these class reunions. It happens.
We've had several, and
Divorces or?
No, several
Oh.
class reunions. Yeah.
Y'all know what I'm talking about? They show up and hadn't seen them in 40 years and think, ooh, you're looking good over there. And then they get them and don't want them.
Oh, well, yeah. I don't know
Just
about all
passing
that,
along some helpful information from Scotty Ray.
but
Hey,
There are people that have not changed, though.
you mean as in still look the same?
Well,
From 92, not
maybe,
hardly.
Maybe some that haven't looked, but some act the same also.
They may act it, but I doubt they look the same. Nah. I'm teasing y'all. This old girl's had a facelift. Now, in her younger years, I didn't know this about her until I started studying this. She was a model when she first showed up. And at some point, she'd go to jail, she'd learn how to cook, and she'd start hanging out with a guy named Snoop Dogg. Martha Stewart has a birthday, and you obviously tell that she's had a little facelift there. She's tapping 79 or 80 now. Still looks gorgeous.
She is pretty. It drives me insane how she says the word egg. She says egg.
I've never actually watched her show.
You take the egg. Yeah.
Does she have one of those 88.1 on the dial voices when she's talking where it never changes? That bothers me to no end.
She doesn't have a whole lot of emotion when she's talking. You know,
I have
she's
highs
kind of
and lows.
monotone.
I can't stand the monotone. You got to have a little oomph about you.
Yeah. But her, my grammar is not really good. But she and Snoop Dogg would not make. I mean, they don't make a good.
Made a big
pair
hit television show though.
I know,
it is
but it just
huge.
is so awkward to me seeing those two together. I don't know.
I did see yesterday where Jane Fonda said she regrets ever having her facelift. I'm going to get. Where is Jan? Jan, investigate this for me. Yeah. Jan, get all over this and find out if all that's true. All right, as we look at a few other things that went on this, 1974, people still hum this today. It's not as popular as it once was, but it was number one on this date. Who remembers Rub It In, Rub It In?
I do.
Oh, Harry Chest himself there, Billy Crash Craddock.
Yeah, I remember. And that's like been on a lot of commercials. What commercial was that? Rub It In? What was
Had
it?
to be, I don't know.
I can't remember.
I would think a suntan lotion commercial, but I could be wrong.
It could be.
Jeff Bates hit a home run with a remake of that song also. Somebody named Jill's having a birthday. Jill Barr. Yeah, hope you have a good one there. Miss Haywood called that in for you.
Yes.
1977, I was 8 years old, and this would hit theaters on today. Who remembers watching The Spy Who Loved Me?
I don't.
You don't?
No, I really don't. I've never even heard of that.
Was that a ripoff?
Heard of James Bond.
When we got, what was it, the Spy Who Shagged Me? Wasn't that a ripoff of that?
I don't know. I guess. Maybe that was, yeah.
Okay, well, just passing it along.
It was.
1977, the same year, he would go on to be a huge quarterback. A lot of people like this guy. Who knows this guy? He's having a big birthday today. Tom Brady, the Buccaneers. Got an arm on that boy.
Yeah.
Does real well there. Now, this girl, we saw her for years, and we still see her probably every afternoon at some point in a rerun somewhere. Anybody watch The Addams Family?
Yeah, I used to watch it.
I didn't know her name was Carolyn Sue, but it was.
I didn't either.
Carolyn Sue Jones was her name, and she passed away on this date back in '83.
She played a really good part there.
Morticia. She was a lot hotter than the woman that was in The Munsters, just so there's no confusion. They resembled each other, but that was the hot chick.
Yeah. She was pretty.
If anybody was wondering there. Okay, Lonnie's done gone to talking about the goat. 1992. This was a great movie. If you want to see somebody that makes movies that are true to the time, not as much makeup as some do. Clint Eastwood is your man. In '92, it came out on this date. Unforgiven. If I remember, it was some axe handles involved in that movie. I liked it.
He is a good actor. I mean, he really is.
Yeah, most anything that he does. Now, you're going to know more about this next topic than I do. It was 1996. I remember hearing it, but it wasn't my thing. And I shied away from ever listening to it at a red light, ever. But it was huge. The Macarena went number one. And it was there for weeks upon weeks.
Now, Scotty Ray, you know you used to do the Macarena.
No, I don't know the words to it. I honestly don't.
Look, when I don't know. Well, the words were like in Spanish, I think, pretty much. Or maybe they weren't. I don't know. All I just remember was, hey, Macarena, you know. And my kids did the dance.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
I do remember standing in the living room with my teenagers trying to do that. I just remember like you do the arms and then on your
stand
hip.
up. I'll adjust the camera.
I'm not standing up and doing no. But yeah, you can Google it. You can watch it if you want to know what the dance is.
We'd rather watch you do it.
But no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to grace y'all with my
Macarena
dancing presence today.
Back in 2001, this came out. This was a cute little movie. I remember Madison watching it when she was a little girl. It came out on today. Yeah. The Princess Diary was released.
That was a really cute movie. It really was.
Sure was. Let's see what else happened today. It would be 2008 that Mississippi would make headlines. It would be, whoops, something happened last night, and somebody was in a car with somebody that's married that shouldn't have been there. and it would go worldwide. What am I talking about? The big wreck that happened in North Mississippi as Morgan Freeman had a wreck. I ain't telling who was in that car.
He was in a car with somebody that...
Somebody was in the car with him.
Oh, it wasn't supposed to be.
Might not have been his wife. No, I'm not saying anything went on. I'm just saying it wasn't his wife, and it was like 2 a.m.
Don't
Lucy,
don't
you
put
got
that
some
in my mind,
splaining to
Scotty, right? I
do.
like Morgan Freeman.
Well, I didn't say he done anything wrong. It's just that he could have picked up a hitchhiker. We don't know. A damsel in distress.
Dang.
What? At least it wasn't somebody named Earl, and we go, what was Earl doing in the car with Morgan?
Yeah.
But
I did not know that, though.
yeah, it was life threatening there. He could have been. That car was like level.
Yeah, I'm glad he's okay.
Yeah.
He went on to be able to act some more because I like.
He could have been acting that night. We don't know.
He could have been
Practicing the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Scotty, Ray, and Candace, y'all stay close. We got a lot more coming up this morning as we move you along on this Wednesday morning. Ain't it great to be in the middle of the week?
It
is.
It is.
Lauderdale County Farm Supply is wide open this morning. Matter of fact, Steve showed up this morning around 7:30, unlocked the door, and let everybody in. They're buying supplies, taking care of things as this summer comes along. T-shirts are a real popular thing, especially if you get caught and you need another shirt. They got it. Maybe you're going fishing. I want to remind you this afternoon around 5 o'clock to 7 is the next best fishing time today. So right after work, head there. They got lures, anything. You pick it up on your lunch hour.
Take your umbrella.
Right. As we look at this sod, get out of here. Patio furniture and a whole lot more for decorative designs.
Oh, yeah.
Flowers, potted plants, anything you want to put in your yard, they got it. Including cooler shirts along with overalls, ball caps, just an array of things there when it comes to work boots. Different brands, different styles that you like. They've got them there for you. Pet supplies, diet, dog food, along with horse feed and cattle feed. All in one place with guns and ammo. You can't beat it. The Lauderdale County Farm Supply. Drop in and visit with them today. You'll bump into a friend, I'm sure, sitting around there doing something today. Visit with them. Join Mike Rice Auctions and Wholesales every Tuesday night for a live auction, and you can bid from the comfort of your own home. Each week, Mike has a whole selection of auction items. Maybe you're a business that needs a liquidation sale. Or maybe you're in charge of an estate and don't know what to do with all you got. Talk to Mike Rice Auctions about an estate sale. Let Mike turn these items into cash for you. Your next deal is waiting for you at Mike Rice Auctions and Wholesale this Tuesday night, live on Facebook at 6:30.
One of the most important places to you is your home. That's why Patrick Allen Companies is proud to provide style, functionality, and security to your home. There's nothing quite like a well-designed overhead garage door or vinyl replacement windows, or the safety of a storm shelter to help your family feel protected. Patrick Allen offers doors and windows for commercial and industrial with dozens of innovative designs. Patrick Allen Companies, safety, service, and satisfaction.
Jan Bushman's on the job. She's dug into this, and she says that Jane Fonda does regret this. The facelift that looks, she said, distorted, doesn't she?
Well, she says she doesn't want to look distorted. She didn't want to do it again. Some people do get like addicted to it. You know, they have to do a little more and a little more and a little more.
And then there's others I go, thank goodness you done that.
Yeah. Some people just look surprised all the time. You know,
They do.
like their face just doesn't move.
We do say condolences to a family in Jackson, Mississippi. And Brandon, as a matter of fact, as a football player, died this week at football practice. They're going to have an autopsy. They're guessing at this point that it was heat-related, heat stress in some form. But again, it was in the low 90s. Imagine what it's going to be like as these high schoolers hit the football fields when temperatures rise again. Again, condolences to the family in this. This is just sad news as we look at this. I'm not sure that we have enough time to talk about this. We'll move this to tomorrow. Of this, as we talk more and more every day about what's going on in Mississippi, the scandal that rocks the state. The Mississippi Today is covering this, and they've got seven baffling comments about it of what's going on behind the scenes. I'm going to save that till tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll talk about that tomorrow because it's a lot in depth that we need to
It
talk
seems
about.
like the story is growing by the day. You know.
And it's just like being on a jury, and you're sitting there. You have no idea what didn't make it to court, which they won't allow, that would change your decision sometimes. Kind of shocking what's blocked. They may be
Right.
guilty, but you're not allowed to hear it. Like
And I think
they've
that's so
stabbed
wrong.
25 other people in their life, but they're
Right.
not allowed to tell that in court.
Yeah.
Little things like that.
I think all information should be readily available
It
for
should be.
anybody who is deciding if somebody's guilty or not. I just think it should be.
Hey, I brought this up earlier. Ron DeSantis has told him, nope, ain't showing up. He's been offered a guest spot there on The View to hang out with Whoopi and her friends. And he goes, I don't think I'm coming.
Yeah.
Probably a wise decision. It'd be like being tore apart by a piranha.
Yeah. You ever seen ants attack something
Yeah.
That's what it would be like.
And I want to be perfectly honest about this also, as you look at both sides of the rim. You take Sean Hannity. Sean, I like him a lot, but he always says, oh, come on my show. Well, I've witnessed people that's been on his show. They get one word out, and then he goes after them, and they never get to say anything.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Now, Tucker, on the other hand, gives them a lot of times a little rope there for them to try to explain things, and he comes back. But not so much with Sean. And again, I'm not running Sean down. I like him. But think back on the interviews where they come on there, and he's...
Yeah.
And they go, but Sean, hush, and then he cuts them off. You got to be fair when you do that. If you're going to accuse somebody of something, I think they ought to have an opportunity to talk. Now, you can interrupt.
Yeah, they do. They should have an opportunity to say their side or how they feel about something.
You know, you go back to what could have possibly ruined the election for Trump. Y'all remember that debate to where he just wouldn't let old Joe say anything? He would have been so much better to have just let Joe ramble on and then remark after Joe instead of cutting him off at every... Sometimes you give somebody a little rope, they do more damage to themselves if you'd have tried to cause it.
Right.
We lost a great baseball announcer. Did you see this?
I didn't.
67 years, he was the voice of the Los Angeles Dodgers, and he passed away at his home at the age of 94. Legendary commentator Vin Scully has passed away. That's a long time to do a job.
That
67 years.
That is.
Kind of like my friend Van Mack, who was in radio for 50 years. If you're watching this morning, Van, how are you? Hope you're doing good there. I've got this. I loaded this morning. If you haven't, I won't show it on television. I don't want to upset anybody. If you get a chance, visit my Facebook page, Scotty Ray Report. It's got where the 80-year-old guy is sitting in a store. He owns his own store. Robbers walk in with an AR-15, going to rob him. He grabs a shotgun, shoots the guy in the arm quickly.
Yeah.
And the guy's heard screaming, yelling, he shot me. Well, what do you think he's going to do? You won't hurt him.
That's right. You come at somebody with a gun, you better be ready.
Yeah. So that a boy goes into and you know, we watched that case in New York where everything, where right is right and wrong is wrong. As you look at that, the gentleman that was in his upper, maybe 80, 79, that was attacked, and he cut the guy, and he was arrested for protecting himself. They finally let the man out of jail after so many people complained.
I remember watching an elderly man on a bus. This guy thought he was going to bully him, and he was pushing on him and doing all this stuff. The man stands up and beats the other guy down. I mean, he beats him down on the bus, and everybody's going, oh my gosh. Because, I mean, he didn't expect that.
Right. He was going to be a bully, so to speak.
Right. He was going to bully him. But
sometimes
the
you
man
got to
stood
stand
up for himself.
You got to stand on the playground sometimes and mark your own territory.
That's right.
Right or wrong, you got to do what's right. As we look at things going on, well, Godwin Cleaning Services are hard at it this morning. They got the trucks rolling. They just bought a brand new truck to better serve you. They're out today in many different locations, pressure washing, cleaning things. It's soft cleaning, as you'll see the night and daylight difference in between buildings. Homes that look like this, whether it's brick, whether you've got vinyl siding, they can do either one of these. And, you know, there reaches a point where you just either don't have time to do this yourself or you're not physically able to do it anymore. That's where they come in. They'll come out, usually in a couple hours, knock a job out and be done. Very affordable. They'll set it up on a schedule where you don't have to worry about it, from roofs to driveways. Major difference. Yes. Godwin. They take care of so many things. Visit them from windows on down to back porches and steps. Look at that. Godwin Cleaning Services, we'll give you that number, which is 601-253-8262. No matter what it is you need clean, they got something that will put it back to the way it used to look. Visit with them today.
The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville has these great savings this week. Fresh peaches, $1.99 a pound. Large tomatoes, $1.79 a pound. Red, yellow, or orange bell peppers, 2 for $3. Fresh plums, $2.99 each. Vidalia onions, a 3-pound bag, $3.99. Coca-Cola 12-pack 12-ounce cans, 2 for $11. And certified Angus beef top sirloin, $5.99 a pound.
And we're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
Welcome back, Scotty Ray and Candace. And I wanted you to bring up what Debbie Moles just told us, because I saw that headline and I didn't have the names in front of me.
Said that she said we have lost 3 Mississippi high school football players this week. We have lost a student at Germantown, Madison Central, and Brandon in the last 24 hours. Huge prayers go up for these communities and for all of the student athletes. So.
Thoughts there.
Yes.
Janet also made a comment. I have to agree with her on this. She goes on, jumps on Priscilla. She said Priscilla was beautiful. And then she went and had so many surgeries where she don't quite look that way anymore. I don't recognize her anymore.
Yeah, I saw her the other day, one of the little interview things I was watching. But
I'm assuming this is, what's his name's full name? Martin Sheen.
Ramon Antonio Gerardo
Estevez. So
That's
big
long.
Name.
Big long
lot
name.
there.
Yeah. Charlie.
Yeah. Good morning, Lisa Bates. Good to see you watching us from Neshoba County. Hope everything's good there. Lots going on here. And we also want to pass along condolences in our area of the world of someone who has passed away.
Yes. The motorcycle accident that happened a week ago, possibly.
Something like that. Last weekend.
Yeah. Katie Clark Unge passed away yesterday from that. She and her husband both were in critical condition, and she's passed away. And I was in her family for 17 years, so she was my niece, and I watched her grow up. She was a beautiful girl. She's going to be deeply missed, and she was deeply loved, and I just pray for their family. I do. I can't imagine.
His niece says that accident was on Sunday afternoon is when that happened. Condolences to the family. It hurts. It's horrible.
Definitely, yes.
From the bottom of our hearts, we pass along prayers to each of those, and as her husband tries to recover as well.
Definitely, yes.
The first rioter has gotten a sentence as we get ready to leave out of here, and we're talking January 6th. Stuck it to them. 7 years is what they have been sentenced to in jail. He was part of a Texas militia group. 7 years. We'll watch more about that. Let's see here. We're at the total of 37 deaths now, Kentucky, as the floodwaters have raged across that state. Even saw the story of the little girl who made it to the top floor and she put her puppy in a plastic container and she had to swim out of a window over to a neighbor's house that the roof was a little bit taller.
Yeah.
They made it out. They've been rescued. They had to sit there for 5 hours on the roof before a copter or somebody came along.
That has got to be so scary, too,
It is.
for children. Goodness, adults, too.
And as we look at flash flooding south of us, I always keep that in mind of what would I do if things got out of hand, especially if you live near a creek.
Right, and definitely so important not to try to drive through that. I saw yesterday on one of those floodwaters, people were driving through it, so don't take that chance.
Well, they're telling us a little red light that says, you're out of time, you need to hush, because we've got Dr. Phil coming up. He's going to tell you some interesting things. We'll be back tomorrow morning, though, to start this all over again.
That's right. We'll see you in the morning at 8 a.m. sharp.
Thank y'all for joining us, and have a great day.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: